the camera movement.
They're unstoppable.
I don't know how much Dota you play, sir. I really don't. If you play enough, like you log in a lot of hours, you need to change the way you move the camera. It's terrible. I've never said this. So, I just want you to know, if you're spending a lot of time playing Dota, this is worth your time.
Banana slam jam.
Welcome back, guys. This is another replay analysis with BSJ, courtesy of the new Patreon we've been doing. We got a 2.3k MMR Sand King. That's what we're looking at. And his comments were, laning is a bit sloppy. Advice on how I could better approach lanes with Enigma 4s, Veno 4s, these types of very roamy jungle heroes. Especially with Enigma, as I generally love to constantly pull to range as SK, pull back lane creeps to tower. Any advice on how we should have ended the game earlier? He said 10 minutes sooner, but for the sake of it, I'll say earlier. Okay, so yeah, we'll look at this. So you're off lane, and you're against CMPL. That's like 90% what's happening here. So first and foremost, I think it's really important you itemize properly. So the reason why I don't like Windlace, let's name a couple reasons. So if you look at my last Mars game, even though I lost, I think I laned fine. I'm against two melee heroes in this lane. I'm against, it was a Spearbreaker 5 and a PL. And I want you to look at my items, okay? So I start with a lot of stat items. This is on Mars, but it's the concept that I'm talking about with items. A lot of stat items, and look at my items. Bracer, Wand, Soul Ring, then Boots, right? And I had 2 gauntlets too. So my point is that Boots and Windlace are really nice against damage that can be evaded by virtue of dodging it. You know? Like you just don't get hit by the damage. So this is against stuff like Ursa, that kind of thing, right? Where the goal to mitigating damage is just don't let them hit you as much. But when you're against a Phantom Lancer, a melee hero, and you're a melee hero, he's naturally going to hit you, you're going to hit him, and you're against Crystal Maiden, where no amount of positioning will dodge her shit. She's going to nuke you, you're going to take damage, it's unavoidable. So in these types of situations, it's really important that you don't itemize mobility. You need to itemize sustain and stats, period, because you're going to take damage. So I really hate these starting items. I absolutely hate them. You need a salve. I would probably go a ton of regen and branches, kind of like what I did on this Mars lane here. Right here. Alright, no, it's the other Mars lane I'm thinking of. I went double tango, salve, 3 branches, and a quelling. I would do something similar for you here. The idea is sustain, then being able to CS. So don't like the starting items at all. Really important to think in what manner you're taking the damage. Hate the Sandstorm leveling here. Absolutely hate it. Sandstorm level 1, absolute dog shit. I know you're a really high-level Dota Plus Sand King player, but I can just tell you as a carry player, I don't give a shit about 20 damage per second. And you're also alone in this lane, so it's mostly about survival. The Enigma's going to deny creeps, and you just need to not basically feed the early levels. So a lot of times with a hero like Enigma, I'll say specifically Enigma because he's denying a creep, just chill for the first few waves. You can even look to maybe block the big camp or the small camp at the minute mark to prevent pulls, because that's the opponent's natural response if you're pulling the lane back. But yeah, Sandstorm leveling here, very bad, if you ask me. Which you did, because you signed up for the replay. So Enigma denied a melee creep. Oh, you drag with camera drag or some shit. It's very, very hard to watch your player perspective. Wait, what is your player? How do you move your camera? Huh. Are you like centered on your hero? Let me check this actually. Are you? Weird enough, your camera movement's like nauseating for me. I don't know why. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a little bit hard to coach the laning stage here, because your Enigma is literally just doing nothing, and the CM's literally just doing nothing. So I'm not gonna focus on too much on the laning stage here. Like, what you're doing is reasonable. This game, I'm just gonna be blunt and say, like, this game's literally just super low skill laning. So for you, like, in this type of spot, the CM's doing absolutely nothing and the Enigma's doing absolutely nothing. So in that case, it's just like you and the core are going to trade farm. That's what should be happening. You have basically free farm, and PL has about the same. Like, that's what's going to happen in these lanes in low skill MMR, and that's the best you can do. Like, so I'm not going to worry too much about this. Like, even in high MMRs, if my support's really bad, I kind of just accept that the opponent's getting free farm. And that's what's happening, so the only difference here is that Enigma's denying some creeps. But yeah. WASD movement? I see. Well, if that's fixable, I would say not to do that. That's what somebody in chat's saying this is. But hey, you know, no reason to have to change that if you're not looking to go pro, you know, it's fine. So notice how you have sustain issues. Notice how you're not evading them. You're kind of just sitting in lane and trading and, like, sitting in Sandstorm. So I really want you to think about that win lace very carefully, right? You're seeing it, right? I hope you're seeing it. You're having sustain issues. You're not having, like, getting chased down issues. You see what I'm saying? This plays a lot into how the lane goes. It can be a big difference. It helps you start thinking about it now. Playing way too scared here, I think.
First blood. Thanks and have fun.
Some likes of his nuts.
So the problem with the way you're playing this lane is, so like right now, where was it here? There's just no benefit to stunning this PL. Like, why stun him here? It's so much mana to be used simply for the burrow strike damage, right? If you think about what you did, the way you set up good burrow strikes is by, like, stuns in general, I guess, is by having where the opponent's forced to run away from you and you can also chase him down. So you get like an extra 4 right clicks in. On Sand King specifically, what I see a lot of is the threat of burrow strike being stronger than the burrow strike itself. So what I mean is you maybe have a bunch of creeps that are low and you line them up to be causticked. And if the opponent then walks up, then you stun them. So it's like you're presenting this like, okay, I'm controlling this area with the creeps that are low. And if the opponent walks up, then I'll capitalize on them being out of position. But otherwise, I'm chilling. You just don't have the mana to spare to just casually throw out 110 mana burrow strike. That was effectively a 110 mana for 100 damage, right? It's just not a good, efficient usage of burrow strike. And if you are new to Sand King, I would say, he's just learning. But you need to think more about your efficiency of nukes based on how much you've played Sand King and the use of your nuke there.
Wow!
May the drow keep you safe.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So if you're going to go Veil this game, you 100% need Tranquils. I feel like it's very obvious based on your mana health situation. Okay, so failed attempt on Epicenter there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. No, it's burning. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structure. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's courier has been killed. Radiant's bottom tower. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's courier has been
So I think you're trading too hard with Peel here. I want you to think as an offlaner which hero wants to be near the other. I think this is super important to understand. So like an example would be if I'm Legion and I'm against an Ursa and we're both level 6, like who wins there? You know, who would want to be hitting the other one and vice versa? And I'd say it's pretty obvious it's Ursa, right? Ursa wants to hit the Legion and Legion needs to play in a way that's away from the Ursa. I hope if you think about it to yourself after playing a lot of Sand King, that Phantom Lancer does not want to play near you. So we'll address, like in this specific instance, we'll analyze a matchup. So what type of heroes wouldn't be around Sand King? So the way you can come up with a way to understand what heroes want to be around each other is to think of like what makes a hero strong, what their toolkit does. So Sand King, what he does, right, is he controls an area with Sandstorm, and it's damage over time. It's a lot of damage. It's magic damage over time that a lot of heroes can't sustain through. So the heroes that are super annoying for Sand King are either the ones that can kill him and threaten to kill him, or the ones that have innate sustain and magic resistance or magic immunity. So the heroes that come to mind for Sand King that are super annoying especially are Anti-Mage, Jug, and Lifestealer. These are the type of heroes that if you're Sand King, it's really bad to play near them because they don't really give a shit about you, and you could die to them at any point. Lifestealer can kill you with open wounds, Jug can kill you with Omni Slash, Anti-Mage can kill you with, you know, a +1 hero and his ult. And they don't care that much about your kit. On the other hand, PL, the way he kills people is poking them down by hitting them a lot and being right on top of them. And you have to ask yourself, will PL kill me faster than I kill him if I'm in Sandstorm and he's just a PL, right? And the answer is no. So when it comes to farming on the map, I talked about this in another video, but I don't know exactly what. I don't think it's out yet when I recorded this. It's the Spectre invading the farm of the Mag at like 15 minutes. It's the same idea here at 10 minutes. Do you want to be near the opponent or not? So what that means is that if you're both farming, you need to confront that person as often as possible. That's really important. It's an important understanding of like a basic understanding of pressure. And as an offlaner, I think it's a super important skill and a super important like knowledge point to apply. So like right here, he's going for a camp. He's farming. You're farming. You can kill this catapult if you want. Like I understand killing the catapult, but then don't give him this camp and then trade. Don't trade with him. That's not okay. It's not okay to trade when you're the stronger hero. That's not okay. So shift in mindset there. Hope that brings to light something you have not thought about
Radiant's
before.
bottom tower is under attack. Dire's Radiant's bottom tower.
Like if that was an Anti-Mage, Lifestealer, Jug, I would be happy with how you're playing right now. But it's not, right? So I'm not happy with how you're playing. You're trading farm with a guy that shouldn't trade farm with you. He should be very annoyed that you're here. And he just, it's like you two are independent variables that exist on the same plane, you know? You're just, yeah, this is just terrible idea of pressure. I don't have a better description of this. You really need to think that through. I don't know how much Dota you've played. You know, I don't, like some 2K MMR people are really new to Dota. Some of them have been playing a long time, but have never really taken it, you know, super tryhard. But if you want to understand offlane better, that this is a huge portion. Huge portion.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That PL should be crying for help or leave. That's what he should be doing. He should be crying for his team to come gank you, or he should be forced to leave. That's what should happen. Instead, he's got 96 CS at 14 minutes. So UTP bottom with Drow going top, or UTP top with Drow going bottom. I think this is a reasonable rotation. But okay, so you're gonna walk mid. I'm fine with this.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
SF's jungling. You're walking back towards bottom. Okay. I'm fine with you playing like the defensive route since you're Drow TP'd bottom and you already took a tower. You need to play like the defensive efficiency route. You're trying to get your blink as soon as possible. So you're like farming in a push out waves kind of manner, which is reasonable.
I'll take those.
You're walking towards the fight. Okay. Okay, opponent made a play in the dead lane. You're ready to respond. These rotations are pretty good. Reasonable. Perfectly fine with these. You got your blink. Your camera movement really does make me nauseous. I don't know. I've never seen it before.
A dominating
Okay.
performance. This is Gabe Newell.
Not bad.
Thanks for playing Dota 2. Double kill.
The Brewmaster's respawning. We know he has
Radiant's middle
ults.
tower is under attack.
Nice mid-tower rotation. Let's see what you do after it. Your Drow TP top. The Brewmaster's showing mid. I would never really blink in there. I think that was a really lazy and bad blink. Because to be there, I think you were survivable enough. But it's because you had a blink that you were survivable enough to be there. So why did you go mana boots here? That's the question. Let's check out your SF's item build. Okay. So it's really important at this stage in the game. It's right about now to think, if you guys are playing the map, who's playing alone, right? Who's the one showing in lanes, playing alone, and setting up the map for the rest of the team? So what I mean is, the team that generally pushes lanes better is going to have information advantage, and thus should often take fights that are in their favor because they just see more on the map. The lanes are pushed in better, all that kind of shit. So almost every game, there's this one hero that plays alone pushing lanes, and the rest of the team should be in the general vicinity. Like, you know, when I say general vicinity, you guys could all be right here, you could all be right here, you know, just like, you're close-ish to each other. And I understand that your bracket games aren't going to be super organized, but I think it's important that everyone starts thinking like this, but also for yourself, you can start thinking, my team does need one hero that plays like this, okay? And certain heroes in the game just aren't eligible. Heroes that aren't eligible are ones that are very squishy, like they're not survivable, and or, like that's a potential reason they're not eligible, or they just have no wave clear. Because if a hero doesn't have wave clear, like a Bane, for instance, that hero can never be the one that is by themselves split pushing, because your hero just doesn't do that. So a lot of SFs in my bracket right now, the common build they go would be like Boots of Travel, Yules, okay? Or like Yules, Blink, Boots of Travel. And in that case, SF's that hero, okay? Like, you know, SF built that way. So for me, I immediately checked SF's items, and he doesn't have anything of the sort. Drow, definitely not a hero that does that. She's not an independent split pusher. Enigma is like... Long story short, Sand King's very good at this, okay? And I would have checked the one hero I think could do this. And if you're not sure, you can look like this, and ask, who's the best one to do it? I want you to guess, right? I want you to guess to yourself. In this game, it's 100% you. These should be Boots of Travel. Or items that help you split push. Like Yules, because it helps you survive. Or Hood, because you want to be able to tank an Echo Slam. The point is, it needs to be an item, like you have your Blink Veil, it needs to be an item that helps you do that job. And that's a job that you need to know happens every game. And it can potentially be you on certain offlaners. Sand King, Underlord, Puck if you're playing it offlane. Darkseer sometimes where you're shelling waves. Nature's Prophet, Batrider, Venomancer. These types of heroes. Bad Beastmaster sometimes. So I have an issue with the mana boots. Unless you're going Greaves, I don't see why you have them. The camera movement.
They're unstoppable?
I don't know how much Dota you play, sir. I really don't. But if you play enough, like you log in a lot of hours, you need to change the way you move the camera. You actually just have to. I don't know how you move the camera. I don't know what's going on with it, but it shows in this instance how it actually made you like not be an effective team fighter right there. It's terrible. It's worth you spending 50 to 100 games of your time using camera grip or edge pan. In my opinion, camera grip and edge pan are the only acceptable ways to move your camera. I think camera grip is better in an ideal world. For me, it's unfortunate because I used edge pan for 6 years. So when I tried to switch to camera grip, I just couldn't do it. I literally just couldn't do it. But it's terrible. I've never said this. So I just want you to know, if you're spending a lot of time playing Dota, this is worth your time to fix.
Double kill. Ownage. Oh no.
But overall, that rotation was great. But like right now, see, this is the efficiency that a lot of people miss, right? So when you get when you get kills, it's really important to think what you couldn't do when people are alive. I've said this a bajillion times, right? It comes in all shapes and sizes. So oftentimes I say, dead lane, guys, dead lane. You're not allowed to play 3 lanes at once. You just feed. But that's a perfect example of something you're not allowed to do because the opponent is alive. Are you a hero that hits buildings? Answer, no. Are you a hero that clears waves? Yes. Fight over. What should you do immediately? You should have immediately TP'd mid. No hesitation whatsoever. You've played like 100 games of Sand King. This hero doesn't hit buildings. The entire enemy team is dead. There's a wave to clear. It's mid. Your hero does that. This is textbook fundamental shit. I know you're only 2K, so I'm just, being a little hard on you. But it's really important that you just immediately TP this and push it. Not only are you pushing a wave, so that when the opponent respawns, like, their entire map is closed off, but you're getting, like, 300 gold, and, you're going to check runes, and maybe you can gank somebody that goes to help the drow, or goes to fight the drow or some shit, right? Either way, you're just sitting here. This is terrible. This is a complete waste. Complete waste of your time. Nice Burrow Strike to Yoink farm from your team. Oh, nice Blink Sandstorm to Yoink farm from your team.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
If you were a millennial,
And the
I'd
bait.
be wicked sick.
The beauty of all of that is somebody watching, somebody noob, somebody that's terrible would say, BSJ, you just said all this shit, and then he just baited the shit out of the opponent and owned them. So my question would be, could that exact same thing not have happened if right here you win the fight, you immediately TP mid right now, and then run back bottom? You clear this wave, and you clear this wave, and then you run right back. Would that not be the exact same thing with mid-wave pushed and an extra 400 gold in your pocket? So I don't want people to be results-oriented. I think it's fine if you want to go back bottom, but this is a big part of inefficiency within low MMRs. It's not only what you do all the time, but it's what you do when people are dead. I think it is the easiest thing to fix because you just have to think of the most efficient play you could possibly make in regards to, like, if I had the dream of wherever I wanted to farm right now, where would that be? Because when people are alive, you have to think about all the things that threaten you and who on your team you have to sit behind and all that kind of shit. But when people are dead, you just have to flock to objectives and creeps, right? Like, that's all you have to do. So the only thing that matters is when they're dead, is that by the time they're alive, all of the principles I talk about when they are alive are back in action, right? They're applying again. So that's why it's perfect if they're dead. You leave your team for a bit, clear out 2 waves mid, and then join your team again if you think you need to. At that point, it's a decision. At that point, it's like, do I want to go to my drow? Do I want to go to my team again? What do I want to do? But the part of you going mid, clearing it, and coming back somewhere is undebatable. Like, it's not debatable. It's always right to do that. There's no exceptions. Actually, no exceptions.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
So you are going Greaves. I mean, I don't hate Greaves. Against PL specifically. But, I want you to ask yourself, you're dealing with a PL, right? You're dealing with a PL. And you're in low MMRs. Does your carry naturally deal with Phantom Lancer? Does your carry hero deal with Phantom Lancer? Does your mid hero deal with Phantom Lancer? Does your other support deal with Phantom Lancer? I have watched you miss at least 800 to 1,000 gold on the map just by pure efficiency, okay? And your hero deals with Phantom Lancer. Stop buying this beta cuck items to support your team and win the fucking game for your team. There are games like this as offlaner where you are the one that is meant to own the opponent. Like, you are the one. I want to see Boots of Travel, Yule Scepter, Radiance, Shivas. That's what I want to see. I want to see Radiance, Shivas, BKB. I want to see you fucking carry the shit out of this game and ruin this PL's day. That's what I want to see. I want to see this PL not have a fucking game at 40 minutes into the game because you have Shiva's Radiance. Like, he's done. Those are the number two. Those are the two number one items to counter PL, by the way, are Shivas and Radiance. So if there's you can start identifying win conditions in Dota. You can start identifying. Okay, so in Dota, win condition heroes are the ones that they're going to carry their team. The Terrorblades, the Spectres, the PLs, the Medusas, Anti-Mage, and you need to address it. If somebody on your team already does that, then sure. I will tell you in low MMRs, it's way easier to reliably win the game if you're the one that addresses it, if possible. And if it's possible, especially in a game like this where none of your heroes, other than maybe an Enigma Black Hole, innately deal with PL, that you need to be the one that does it. So I think I know I called you a beta cuck. Please don't take it offensively. What I'm basically saying is, as an offlaner, there are games you're supposed to carry. We saw Seb carry TIA Game 4. You can do it. Okay? You can do it. You're allowed to carry some games. There are some games where it is your job to carry it. And it's oftentimes where you look at the carry-to-carry matchup and you say, my carry does not out-carry that carry. So I need to somewhat carry. And when I say carry, I don't necessarily mean you're building right-click items and shit. I mean that you're going to be the one that scales really well into the game. You're going to get a lot of farm. That's what I mean by carry. Like, if you have a Shiva's Radiance on Sand King, you will carry this game. Like, you're not going to, in the game, you're not going to be the one hitting the buildings, but you're going to be the one winning fights with your items.
My favorite kill is the monster. This is Gabe Newell. Thanks for playing Dota 2. Double kill.
Okay. I know I've said a decent amount, and replay analysis always wrap up somewhere. And I'm going to tell you that I want you to look at this mid lane engagement that you just participated in. Right here. I want you to look at the lanes. Let's take a nice 10 to 15 seconds to ourselves to digest the lanes. If you want to learn how to be efficient and get out of the 2K bracket, picking heroes that farm waves and farm them and you clear them correctly, you will naturally win so many games because everyone in your 2K bracket does this same shit that you are. This tier 2 means absolutely nothing. This tier 2 means absolutely nothing. BSJ, why does it mean absolutely nothing? What does it offer you? You already got tier 2 bottom. You can take Outpost if you want it. What camps or whatever does it open up for your team? It gives your team 150 gold each, whatever. That's what this tower does. 150 gold each for the team. Or, 600 gold right here. And this comes down to your mindset on the game. This comes down to itemization, map control. There's a lot of factors that go into this. But when you're playing potential split pushers, okay? Heroes like Nature's Prophet are split pushers. Like, that is their job. That's all they can do. Anti-Mage, Nature's Prophet, that's all they can do. They don't have a backup plan, right? So if I'm Nature's Prophet and my guy last picks Zeus mid and buys Boots of Travels to try to split push the map, I'm fucked as a Nature's Prophet because he's literally taking the one job that my hero does. So I can't do anything else. On Sand King, the beauty of it, but also the difficulty of playing a hero like this, is he can be a split pusher, or he can be the guy that's like the teamfight aura builder that's sitting behind his team and ready to initiate, counter-initiate, all that stuff. You can be either, right? So if you want to get better thinking about the game, and since you've played a lot of Sand King, it's a good hero to do it on, you need to understand that this is an option for you. And you need to understand that this role has to be taken every single game. By somebody. Not by you, but by somebody. Okay? So this is what you need to focus on moving forward. I assume you guys... Do you win this game? So you do end up winning this game. You guys are ahead by a pretty large margin. like PL is pretty hard to carry the game with against Enigma, but you asked me how to end the game 10 minutes sooner. And this is how. When lanes are pushed better, when more farm is consumed per minute, the game is going to accelerate. And every objective, or every fight you win, turns into even more objectives. So I'm going to cut the replay off here, because I've talked a lot about specific things. But because from this point on, if you didn't have this mindset, I actually don't want you to think about what you did this game. Your entire mindset this game should have been to split up and show up to fights playing like a 1 position, basically. Like, you're playing the map like you're a 1, because nobody else on your team can do it. It's like, if your carry is an anti-mage, you'll never play like this. But if your carry is like a Drow or a Gyro, these heroes that are like ranged heroes that don't split push, then you can do it on a hero like Sand King. And this is blasphemy. I want you to understand that I don't know what's more vomit-inducing. Seeing this as me or your camera movement. But either way, both of them are vomit-inducing. So that's what needs to be fixed. I want you to say, this hurts my eyes when I see low MMR games to see this. And this isn't saying you're trash. It's everyone on your team, right? Nobody in the game prioritizes this stuff. This is so important. So fucking important. I don't have to repeat this to everybody in the Dota community, do I? I think I do, actually, because nobody does this. So for you, please focus on this as a potential opportunity for you. And I'd like to, I hope it makes a tangible difference in your games. Why is WSD camera movement a sin? Because in terms of my left hand, I have, let's see, about 25 hotkeys total, and I'm using a 6th of them on something that doesn't require any if I just don't. All right, so let's talk about hotkeys. I have attack, stop. I have my 4 abilities. On some heroes, it's 6, so just for the sake of argument, we'll do the 6 abilities. Probably have 3 or 4 control groups, so that's up to 12. We have scoreboard. We have shop. We have 6 items, so that goes up to 20. We have our hero hotkey. We have our courier hotkey. That's 22. We have purchase quick buy hotkey. We have purchase sticky hotkey. That's 24. Yeah. Even then, that's 24. So if I have 26 hotkeys total and 4 of them are being used and I have 24 things I need hotkeys, suddenly I have 2 things that don't have hotkeys.